What's up? What's up? Okay, so I kind of cut off the last part a little bad situation. Not situation, but not a good point and stuff. But anyway, this from school to this jail pipeline thing. A lot of people are really getting angry about it, and I can understand that. It's kind of like saying, hey, it's going a little too far. But it's like my life. My friends make jokes, and they think it's funny, and other people think their jokes are funny, right? But it's like every time I make jokes, they weren't funny to people, and sometimes they people actually got upset, to the point where some people wanted to fight, and I'm like, it's only a joke, but you know how jokes are. Jokes are just depends on other people's interpretation of things and stuff like that. So I just totally stopped joking and just got serious and just left it like that, because in the long run it was always safer for me, and it prevented a lot of problems that could have got, just a lot of problems that could have just gotten worse, because some people just don't interpret or didn't interpret my jokes as something to be laughed at. What's going on in these schools also is the same thing, I believe. If you are at home and you're studying, and the next door neighbor is playing the music, quote unquote, too loud for you, but if you, because you're studying, it's too loud, but normally it's not too loud, then you'll have a problem with it, and then you may mention it to to your neighbor, and your neighbor saying, well, you're not complaining other days, so why are you complaining today? So in school, it's kind of the same thing, all the students should be in the same mood as you are when you're at home studying and want peace, I guess I should say, would be a nice word. You don't want any disturbances. It's like going to the library and you got people in the library talking when they shouldn't be talking, and it's a rule, and then they get kicked out the library for a month or two, and they can't study or have to go to a public library or maybe a private library. And then they're upset. Oh, it's too rash, but it's rash. You have to understand that a country's strength is really lodged into the intelligence the competence of its citizens. And United States, I don't know if they're weak or not, because they got a lot of weapons. But when it comes down to being on the ground, and if it comes down to numbers, and if both are equally competent, then of course those with the numbers will win. But if one has higher competency, or someone else's competence is higher than the others, then you'll have a chance to defeat your enemy. This pipeline to jail thing that's going on, a lot of these kids, I'm reading a lot, and I know, like I said, I'm only just going based on what I'm reading in the news articles that I get. But I do know that when you're in school, when I was in school, and I would talk, and like one time I got into a fight at Emerson Junior High School with some white guy, because some white girl was in front of us, and in the school she was like the prettiest girl, one of the prettiest girls in the school for our grade, but in that class she wasn't. I was walking behind her, one of my other friends, my other white friends was behind me. His parents were millionaires and stuff, and he reached in front of me and touched her butt. She turned around, thought it was me. Then another white kid came over and swung. No, I think he came over And I mean, it was like clockwork. It was weird. It was like the first time I ever got into a situation like that with a white person ever. And he walked over and just grabbed me like, phew. And I guess he must have been watching those movies, and he just took me and slung me up against the wall, kind of like up against the wall. But before I got it, I reversed and slammed him, and then he tried to do it again. I reversed and slammed it again, and then he took a punch at me, and I moved, and I right in his jaw. But I didn't hit him hard or anything. And then he got hit, and he was like, whoa. And so, of course, I got suspended by the principal, and I remember her name. I'm not going to say her name. But, so I was like, wow, you know, what's going on? You know, so then me and this guy, we were still friends, but, you know, I was just very curious. I remember one time I even ditched on campus at Emerson because some kids started doing it. I think it was in my 8th grade year. I tried that because my friends said they were going to ditch a class. I think it was a science class, but they went, and I didn't go, and then later, you know, I'm like, where were y'all? We went to class. We just joking, you know, and then my grades dropped, you know. Then when I saw my grades, I'm like, oh, no, you know, I'm not dumb like this, you know. So I got the key to my wife's car, and I straightened up. But I don't know, for me, I really fell in love with education in school because it was fun. You know, I created the images of, you know, the things that I was able to successfully done. Actually, I remember I was in a history class, and I don't know what my problem was, but we had to do a report. My report would have got 100%. I was the best. I had wrote the best paper, and I gave the best presentation. But at the end, I think my presentation was really good. It was kind of boring though, you know, because a lot of students were sleeping. But I got a high grade on the presentation. But on my report, it was perfect, except for some reason I was just in this Christianity, and I evidently didn't read the book, and I said that the reason that the Roman Empire fell was because they crucified Jesus. And the teacher wrote back, was like, what is this? That's not what happened, you know. And I got a B or something on it, whatever, you know. And I was sad. Had I not put that in there, I would have got an A on the test and stuff, right? And a lot of kids in the class were like, wow, how come your writing skills are so good, you know, well, whatever. You know, this was at University High School. And I was like, I don't know, you know, I just read and write, that's it, you know. But definitely vocabulary. When you go to school, you know, you guys really have to understand that you go there, the United States government is providing a place for you, so you can be safe, you can study in peace, provide you a desk and things like that. If you get bored, you know, I can understand that, but I think the boredom comes probably because you're not understanding, you know, what you're reading or what you're supposed to be reading. You know, like I made on my other video, adverbs, adjectives, and nouns. Adverbs are nothing more than emotions. You know, and emotions are excitements. You know, it makes you excited, sad, you know, crying, and whatever. You know, suspense. You know, and then the adjectives just describes, you know, the noun. So when you read a noun phrase, you know, you're reading something that's you're reading about some object with some description, you know, or some design with that created some type of emotional effect to the speaker. So actually, when you're reading, it's supposed to be wonderful. You know, it's supposed to be great. It's like an adventure, a dream, just constantly. Things are happening, you know, and you get involved into it. And that's what reading is all about. There's no such thing as boring reading unless you just are the type of person who I don't want to listen to this. I just only want to listen to this. I'm only interested in this and I'm that. And so basically you're just limiting yourself. And I mean, like the other video I made, And I guess they teach you this in schools, and they taught me also. The only reason I didn't finish school because I kept moving. It's not an excuse, but that's what happened because my college was really easy and stuff. I got a lot of C's and stuff because I did study, but I got some A's in some classes that basically you get lucky. You get some classes where the teacher will also include your grade in your participation. I participate a lot. But yeah, you gotta basically a and the and adverbs and adjectives and nouns. Adjectives, emotions, adverbs, descriptions, or designs, however you want to use it. And these are objects. And people are not objects, but your body is an object, okay? And this is it, okay? This is it. This right here is supposed to be something exciting. Exciting. It looks like a hamburger. No, it looks like a what? A hot dog or something. Okay. Then you have what they call prepositions. Prepositions, okay? Prepositions are just place. That's it. This wonderful object, where is it? Then you have, and of course you can have that. Then you got your verbs, and the verbs, action, and be, and model. Very simple, okay? This here is a noun, okay? All of these can be expressed as a noun. They have their noun forms. Just look in the dictionary. Here, I call this here, blah, 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 because they have names, and you can look up the names in the dictionaries. Here, I call these verbs, and here, these are the subjects. You guys know what a subject is. A subject is the topic, or the main point, or what you're talking about in a sentence. That's all. All subjects are nouns. A noun is equal to a noun. That means this noun can become a subject, and this noun can be a blah, blah, blah. You can take here, boom, and move it over here, boom. Now, I'm going to give you a secret. And I don't want to, but I'm going to give you guys a secret to understanding grammar, math, not math. Math, same thing, I guess, but understanding English. English is a very, very, very simple language. They call it English. Only 20% of it's English. I don't know. I mean, if 80% of it is not English, then why would they call it English? Right? Okay, but it should be called something else. But I ain't gonna say because some people might get sensitive. Okay, here, this is English. Okay, basically, you have the subject, you have a verb, and you have blah, blah, blah. And this is the basic breakdown, basic breakdown of what English is. So you guys can understand this and do a little better. Of course, you might think this sucks, but it works for me. Okay, you have who, what, when, where, why, which, how. Some people say adjectives are, adjectives can be a noun. This is where the emotions are in there. Okay, people over here. Reasons. These are choices. Emotions. These are nouns. This is a time, and this is a place. Okay. Who is basically I, you, we, Okay, that's the who. Okay. Where are prepositions? Prepositions. When is time? What is an object? Why is a reason? Which is a choice? How is a? Pretty much adverbs. Or I should say emotions. Better. This here, exactly the same as here. Who, what, when, where, why, which, how. Exactly the same. Except for the who changes to I. No. Sorry. Me, you, us, him, her, him, her, it, and them. Okay, I think everything else is the same. And this is basically English. This is English, kids. Simple. So, let's say you wanted a who. You get to choose one of these. Okay, when you talk about a who, you must use one of these. You say, oops, not the why. This whole thing goes over here. It's the same, except for this change. Okay, this changes to. This is English. Okay, this is all the language. So when you're reading, you think about it. You know, it's funny because you can say like, how. Let's see, where's the adjectives in there? The reason, which, what, when, where, why, huh, who, no, what is it? It's supposed to be a noun. When, where, why, which one? Which one? The big one, the small one. Okay, maybe this is what the adjectives are, probably. The blue one, which is a choice, but yeah, which one? So I guess this would be the adjectives. Adjectives would be here. Would be the which one? Blue, maybe. Okay, but anyway, that's it. So you can use these, and all you gotta do is substitute them out. What's really more interesting is here, the I, here, these here. These are the basics of people. You say you, me and my mom, you and your mom, me and my mom, you and your mom, Shirley or whatever names you want to use, it, the box, the toy, the car, $1 million, they is all of this in here. They is people and objects here. These, of course, I, you, we, he, she are people. It is an object, I guess. Could be inanimated, animated, whatever. And then they all encompass there, in there, something like that. They, and this is English. You guys, if you really understand this, then you can, from here, you expand. You expand. Okay, you expand. Okay, there's one other thing I wanted to say. For you kids with when you're doing verbs with action verbs, it's really simple. When you ask a question, do you like candy? Okay, do you know what this do means? Do you know what this means? Well, I just call them verbs, verb to verb for lack of, just to make it easy. Actually, this is not, it's a verb, but it's not a verb, it's an infinitive. Infinitive, do you know what infinitive means? It means 2, 3, 4 to infinity, plural. This is always plural. It can never change like a verb can to likes. So that's why it's called infinitive. It's only a plural. Infinitive just means 2, 3, 4, 2. Infinity, the infinite is there, infinity. That's all it means, more than one. Okay? And, of course, you like. Okay, the do, the verb to. You guys remember, the verb to do, it means only 3 things, kids. It means past, future, no. Past, present, and future. That's all this means. So do is going to be here. Do, does here, will, and did. Okay, we have be verbs, same thing. But in be verbs 1 is going to be was, were. Number 2, am, is, are. And number 3 is going to be will, the verb to, and then here in the blah 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 area, you have to use be. The reason you have to use be is because this is a infinitive, and after modal verbs, it's a infinitive. You got 2 infinitives. You got one that's a bare infinitive. You have one that is a 2 infinitive. 2 infinitives usually comes when you have a verb to blah 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 blah. I prepare to go to the store. But here, if you have this noun here or something like that, I forgot to. I don't even know the rule for that. But I'm thinking it should be the same as how can I say that? If you use a noun, and if you use a verb, this verb has to always be plural or the infinitive form. You know, if you have another verb in there somewhere, because this is the verb. You guys, when you study English, the only reason here you have like we like candy. The only reason this is a verb is not because it's like. Wow. Okay, I'm about to run out. Okay, I'm gonna finish. This is it. It's not because it's like. Like is not necessarily a verb. The reason it's a verb is because of did, do, does. Okay, and then will, if you add will, because actually there are only 2 tenses. This here, the will, you need a totally different word. So these are really the tenses. I think it's a tense, but it has a separate word. It doesn't have these in it. So these here combined with the infinitive, and this doesn't. You just put it next to it, and this is where the bare infinitive come in. But anyway, here in like, because it's plural, it's going to be do plus like. If it was like the, it's because it's did plus like. Okay, if it's likes, it's because does plus like. This is what this is, and you have to understand. I don't know if the teachers teach you guys this or not. I don't know. Did my teacher teach me this? I don't remember, but I do know. Like, do, like. Yeah, okay. So, let me get ready to put the candy out here, since it's not good for you anyway. And it goes to do plus like, which is, does plus like is like here is the singular. All singulars. Like is like. Oh, so I said this in another video. Like is singular. It's there. It's all hint. Like. Like is singular. Okay, it's gonna cuss in. Singular. Why is it difficult to remember? It's right there. Likes singular. Like not singular because there's no S there. It's a hint. So actually it could be he likes singular. like singular candy. And it's there. So you have a test, guys. Singular, plural. S there for singular, then it's plural. And that's it. Study this. This English is really easy, you guys. When you go to school, remember, United States government must, for some reason, really do love you. If they don't, even if they don't act like it, or they want you to study, or they force you to study for some reason. Okay, maybe because, well, they know what happens. It's history, history, history. Black people are not bad people. Okay, but you bet people, black people can't do bad things. Okay, everybody is really intentionally really good because your brain only tells you to do good things. You, for some reason, create images in your head to do bad things, and because the emotions come up and endorphins make you feel good, you think it's the right thing, so you do it. But remember, your brain and your emotions, they're like not connected, you know. And I showed you English, just the vocabulary. Please get on that. Math, you know, it's just adding and subtracting. You know, again, somebody for some reason just was looking, saw 2 times, not 2 times, but 2 plus 2 and equals 4, then it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals to 9, and they got to thinking, well, you know what, I see 2 written down 2 times. I see 2 written down 2 times. Wait, I see 3 written down 3 times. You know, and they're like, oh, wait a minute. So if I go 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals to 20. What do I see? Oh, I see 4 written down 5 times. Oh my God. Bam. So it's just an abbreviation. You know, 5 squared. You know, 5 squared. You know, 5 squared is multiplication. You know, blah, blah, blah. And you break it down, And when you start to understanding that all math is just adding and subtracting, then you're like, why can't I understand? And the reason you don't understand is because you don't use a dictionary to understand what the words mean, even though the word is right there in your books. And you say, oh, I gotta read all of this. And you got this image in your head of you chopping through all these letters that makes absolutely no sense to you because you didn't pay attention when your teacher told you to look up the vocabulary. And in the back of your book, there's parts in there that says vocabulary. You have to understand, so it's not like you can say, I hate school, my teacher hates me, they're doing this because they don't like me. No, you have a brain, and your brain can comprehend anything that's on this earth. And everything. It's just you have to stop creating those images that forces you. Your brain say do this, and you know you want to do this, but you know the reason you guys don't understand the dynamics of it. You want to do this, but the reason you don't do it is there's you eventually not doing it, but you have to actually stop. You got to actually have to crush your mind, create this other image, and put it in a place of your mind. And even though you're doing that, that's not enough to make you not study. You have to fuel that other image of you, whatever it is that you want to do, throw in your book or whatever, and you have to fuel it with your adrenaline. And then even you fuel it with your adrenaline, you don't really, you'll do it, you know, and then you don't really do it at that point. You do it when you get the good feeling because you're trained that the feeling means to do it. And so your brain starts, okay, I'm ready to check my book up, but you don't do it. You still got to wait, and then the feeling comes, you know, because you're still thinking. You know, you're still thinking. When drilling goes through you, it doesn't mess with your brain, you know, but you don't, but you're still thinking. You're still thinking. And so you can't really do it. So then you get the endorphins come in, and it's like a drug, and it numbs your brain. And then you do it. It's like guys going to clubs and drinking alcohol, because instead of just walking up to a woman and say, "What can I do to get with you?" You know, and they already, if I ask her, "What can I do to get with you?" All she's gonna do is tell me to make her laugh, and I don't know how to make a woman laugh. Why do you want me to make her laugh? I don't understand. You know, I just told you in another video. You know, so it makes you feel good. Because you feel good, then it numbs your brain. That's what it does. Endorphin numbs your brain, and then your body can. So, you kids, when you are not studying and we make a decision not to do something that's positive, you're actually going through a whole bunch of steps in your mind to make yourself do the wrong thing. And it's not one step, it's a few steps. You know, and basically you're drugging, you have to, and the final step to actually make you do something is a drug. You're drugging yourself. Stop drugging yourself, okay? Fall in love with school fall in love with education because the only thing you're learning about is yourself. Do you love yourself? Yes, so then understand who you are. Learn, know thyself. It's right there, you know. Our ancestors tell black people, know you thyself. Why? There must be a reason. Until you do, you won't know. I'm out. This is the last video I'm doing of this. You ask me, well, you probably won't have any questions because you guys are smart. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.